Alright, fellow Slayers, time to take a look at the second episode of the day, which is Beer Bad. Buffy still hurting because Parker dumped her after a one-night stand. During Professor Walsh's class of the role of the Ed, Buffy daydreams that she saves Parker's life and he swears to do anything to get her back. Xander meets Buffy and Willow at a table on campus and tells them he used Xander and tells them he used a fake ID to get a job as a bartender at a college pub. He practices holding a lighter to light a phantom cigarette and asking them about their day. Buffy tells him that bartending is more than just lighting cigarettes or talking to girls. He has to actually mix drinks. Xander says he's fine since he's seen the movie Cocktail. He asks the girls if they're going to stop by that night. Willow has a date with Oz at the Bronze, while Buffy answers she might. Buffy stops at the pub and sees Parker entertaining a girl at one of the booths. She bumps into Riley, who gives her the lowdown on Parker's womanizing habits. Buffy sits by the bar, where Xander's having some difficulty getting into the groove of the job. Buffy tells him what she's learned about Parker. She turns to leave after seeing Parker walking by, but a group of college boys says that she joins them drinking some beer. Meanwhile, Oz and Willow are in the Bronze together, but he's focused on the singer Veruca when she gets on the stage with her band Shy. Will asks Oz if he knows Veruca and tells he knows her drummer. The next morning, Willow's complaining to herself about Veruca having called her a groupie when Oz introduced them. When she enters her dorm, she sees Buffy watching TV up close and talking about how pretty the colors are. Willow assumes that she slept with Parker again. Buffy just tells her that there were 4 guys, shocking Willow. Buffy starts to explain and Willow understands that Buffy just meant that she was drinking beer with 4 guys, not that she slept with all of them. Willow, saying that Buffy shouldn't be drowning her sorrows in alcohol, says Parker deserves to be killed by spider bites. Buffy agrees and starts to leave, but Willow stops her and tells her that she needs to get dressed first. Confused, Buffy looks in and realizes she's still in her pajamas. During her psych class, Professor Walsh talks about what they're going to go over in the next class. She talks about the reading assignment for the next class and starts to explain why it'll matter, but Buffy interrupts by raising her hand. Professor Walsh calls on her and she blurts out that Willow has already done the reading. Willow and the rest of the class look at Buffy strangely. Professor Walsh says that because of that, Willow has some time on her hands. Buffy sees a girl in front of her eating a sandwich. She grabs her from the girl and starts eating it. Shocked, Willow asks her if she's okay, and Buffy says she is and asks why she shouldn't be. Someone wearing a glove turns on a drip from the tubes of a chemical lab. Liquid mixture is dripping into a keg of Black Frost beer. That evening, Buffy's again drinking with the same guys as the previous night. They act more idiotic as they drink. Meanwhile, a pretty girl's at the bar under the circumstances Xander's been practicing for, but he's to pay attention because he's too busy watching Buffy. She starts to talk about how bad her day's been and asks for a light. Xander holds up a no smoking sign to her. Oz stops by to see Willow and asks why he hasn't been able to get hold of her. She says she's been busy. He tells her that Shy is playing at the Bronze again and asks if she wants to go. She makes an excuse and walks away, leaving a confused Oz behind. Xander sends Buffy home because of her stupidity. She says she wants more beer and Xander tells her she's being cut off. She tells him that beer good, but Xander tells her beer bad and pushes her out the door, telling her to go home. Before drinking buddies realize she's going to ask, "We're a girl," but continue drinking. One of them leaves to go to the bathroom and soon emerges as a violent caveman. He rushes Xander and knocks him out. Xander walks up to the caveman, leaning over him and the 3 other students cowering on the other side of the room. The caveman yells and the other 3 overcome with violent convulsions. Backs hunch over, brows thicken, arms grow longer and more muscular, voices deepen, and hair becomes long all over their bodies. The 4 cavemen surround Xander, who chases them away with his lighter. The 4 cavemen are now loose on the streets of Sunnydale. Uh-oh. Xander runs to find Jack, the owner of the pub. He tells him they deliberately changed the beer as revenge for 20 years of college kids taunting him. Jack tells Xander that his brother-in-law is a warlock and showed him how to do it. Xander is upset that he served the beer to Buffy, but Jack says it doesn't matter because it'll wear off in a day or so. Xander gets Joss to help, who upset Xander for serving Buffy. When they find her in her dorm, She's drawing the wall and saying, "Parker, bad." Giles and Xander are unable to keep Buffy in the room when she gets a craving for more beer. Meanwhile, Will confronts Parker about what he has done to Buffy. He talks about his good intentions and puts his hands on hers, just to reveal reveal that his charm didn't work on her. She rants about how primitive men are, just when the 4K men students burst into the room. Knock Will and Parker unconscious as start a fire that rapidly burns out of control. Outside, Xander catches Buffy and they rush to help when they see smoke. Though afraid of the flames and unable to figure out how to use an extinguisher, Buffy sees Will and, after hitting him, Parker. Outside, Parker thanks Buffy for saving his life and apologizes to her. She knocks him unconscious by hitting him with her club again. Nice. So anyway, let's take a look at some continuity from starting this episode. Xander calls Joss Mr. Ice from the 60s and electric cool, yet funky Satan groove. It refers to his youth's misadventures with Egon revealed in the Dark Age. Giles corrects that it was early 70s, as his rebellion began in 1972. Buffy's statement, "Fire bad," refers back to a previous statement made to Giles when she said, "Fire bad, treat pretty," in Graduation Day Part 2. This is echoed when she says, "Fire pretty," in Flooded. Okay then. So let's take a look at some production notes from this episode. Excuse me. This plot was written with a plan to take advantage of funds from the Office of National Drug Control Policy available to shows that promoted an anti-drug message. Funding was rejected for the episode because drugs were an issue, but it was otherworldly nonsense, very abstract, and not like real-life kids taking drugs. Viewers would make the link to the ONDCP's message. Producer Douglas Petrie says, despite the negative reaction of the fans seeing Buffy being battered about by the forces of college, being treated so casually by Parker, they had to write that out until this episode because they didn't want her to find her strength immediately in this new setting. Petrie described this episode, quote, "Well, varying people get unlimited access to alcohol and become horrible. We all do it, most of us do it, and live to regret it, and want to explore that," end quote. Cal Penn, who plays Sun in this episode, also appears in that vision thing as John Hancock. And now let's take a look at some pop culture references. Xander thinks he knows enough to be a bartender because he has seen the 1988 film Cocktail, in which the main character performs complex choreographed moves behind the bar to the song Hippie Hippie Shake. Will mentions the brand of whiskey Wild Turkey. Xander says that Will's performance gives his Oscar approval in reference to the award. Kip begins a discussion on the theologian and philosopher Thomas Aquinas. Xander asks Jack, how much beer would you say a person would need to consume before they start seriously questioning for fire? This is a reference to the novel The Quest for Fire and its film adaptation, Quest for Fire, which is about cavemen. Xander says that Giles spent the 60s in an electric Kool-Aid funky Satan groove, a reference to parties at the same time that served LSD-laced Kool-Aid drinks, as part of the book The Electric Kool-Aid Acid Test. And now finally let's take a look at a goof. With Xander showing Buffy and Willow his fake ID card, the position of his fingers changed and the zoom in on the card. So overall, I think this episode is pretty hilarious, and yeah, just the fact that Buffy gets to have some revenge on Parker is actually kind of nice, so yeah. So overall, I give Beer Bad 3 vampire steaks out of 5. Anyway, tune in as we take a look at the final episode of the day, Wilds at Heart. So, until then, here endeth the lesson.